Well, hello, welcome to our Living Jesus devotionals from our porch to your home or wherever you may be. Welcome. This week we're spending some quality time listening to Jesus pray, which John captures in his 17th chapter. And what I'd like to do is check out what he prays in verses 6 or 8. I'm going to be reading. I have revealed you to the ones that you gave me from this world. They were always yours. You gave them to me, and they have kept your word. Now they know that everything I have is a gift from you, for I have passed on to them the message you gave me. They accepted it and know that I came from you, but they believe that you sent me. As I think about that, just was waiting for a car to pass. What do you think Jesus is getting at in this part of his prayer?
I think it's really the meat of it is an amazing example of how not only should we pray, but how we should live our lives. And, Jesus is saying that everything he did pointed people he loved to God and to the Father rather than to himself. It wasn't about him. Mm-hmm. So that's just an amazing example. Again, like I said, it's kind of like, wow, what an awesome prayer, but then also what is the end result of the purpose of that prayer?
Sure, and I think we can all agree that for Jesus, who is the Son of God, Word, God in the flesh, that probably wasn't too hard a thing to do. But I think what I'm wondering is, how do you think that translates really to maybe your everyday life?
Well, and as we are living in this pandemic, and I'll just kind of make it current if that's okay. Yeah. I relate to my workplace and how glorifying God is important each and every day, and even, in every interaction. For examples, there are people, my staff, who are relying on me in the midst of this to be a non-anxious presence and to bring that peace and comfort that I know comes from Jesus and from God. But the way I show that is just by example and by touching other people on a daily basis in the work. And what I do usually is I'll try to touch base with most everybody every day or every other day, and I'll just ask questions like, how have you seen God at work in your life this week?
Okay.
And that's not necessarily too personal, I don't think, or I might say something about what is one thing that you are thankful for that God is showing you during this time. Give them a kind of an open-ended question.
Okay.
Give them a chance to process not only what's going on, but how we can bring our faith into these situations.
What a great way to invite Jesus into the workplace and your conversations and the relationships that you're building there. I think that's really cool. So in his prayer, he says his faithful disciples kept his word. And that's another way of saying that they believed, and despite their faults, they stuck with what God said, or Jesus said, God's word, and that's what he brought them. But, if we read the Gospel of John or any of the Gospels, there were plenty of people who didn't buy into what Jesus was saying in his work. It did distract Jesus from his mission, but he continued to make an impact, even if it was just on a few. And as we reflect on that, what do you think about that?
A couple of days ago, when we read the entire chapter, the entire prayer, and I think my word was perseverance.
Yeah, it was.
And I think to Paul as an example of that, when he is speaking in or writing to the church in Thessalonica in 2 Thessalonians 1:4, he says, "Therefore, among God's churches, we boast about your perseverance and faith in all the persecutions and trials you are enduring." And as we know scripturally also, that perseverance builds our character and to be more like Jesus.
That's a great reflection, I think, just on this profound passage. Let's close in prayer. Jesus, thank you for paving the way for us. You showed us that in our day-to-day lives, it's possible to turn everything into an opportunity to point people to the Father. Help us do that today with everyone we're with. They may not accept it, but that's okay. They didn't accept you. And as we encounter every circumstance, help us to point people to who the Father is, to who you are, thanking you for your glory that shines through us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for another installment of the Living Jesus Devotionals. Until then, blessings, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.